Holly wants to throw Josh down there to the proving ground. But at this point, Rogan, oh my gosh, he pissed off my best friend and he hurt her. And you know what? He needs to pay for that.
Welcome back to the show. I've got Ninja Natalie on the line from MTV's The Challenge. Ninja, what's going on?
Hey guys, happy to talk with you guys. Last night's episode was a lot, so I'm here to clarify anything up.
It was a lot. I need to talk to you about Rogan, but first I have to ask, this is your second season on The Challenge. How has the experience changed since your first season?
Now that it's my second season, and it was extremely different from War of the Worlds 1, War of the Worlds 2, from like many different reasons. The format's completely different. I feel a lot more comfortable that I know how this game is. I've watched The Challenge since I was in like middle school, so I always know how these played out, but it's totally different when you're there and a bunch of emotions, which a lot of people know, I get really emotional. And, but it's just kind of cool going into the second season, not being attached to anyone else besides your team, and you kind of get to create your own decisions for the most part.
Let me just say before I move on, that competition where you were climbing and then you went against Laurel, then the Laurel like came back at you and then you won anyway. I was like, oh, that is awesome. Such good TV. You handled yourself with such composure and gravitas. So I got to give it up to you for that because that was very difficult to watch.
I appreciate it. In those moments too, and it felt like an eternity. And we also had no idea what the heck was going on. So for everyone involved, even people on the stage, it showed a lot. And it was pretty gnarly all the way to the end. We had no idea.
It really was, and it was such a symbol of how this season has actually been. You know, last night there was a very surprising turn of events, which resulted in a purge and an elimination. So let's get right into it. You were the speaker for Team US, and you were hell-bent on throwing Rogan in for doing Dee dirty in the last episode, which is where I thought you were going. But then we saw this conversation between the two of them. Let's take a look at that first.
It was Pops, the one that was campaigning for me to go down.
So Joss was like, oh, I don't think she could do it, and then she could do it. Pops was just like, speaking up.
Dee completely believes me that it was all Joss's idea. Whew! She might be a little bit blinded by love.
Well, obviously in that moment, she didn't know he was playing her yet again, but did she speak to you about that conversation, and how did that affect your decision on your vote?
Right, everything happened so fast, even from, it seemed like the day before where CT told us at the table that, you know, the thought of Dee going down there was their option. And it just confused me so much. I'm like, we've been working together, you know, from each team in our alliance, and we stick really close, and all of a sudden you want to throw in Dee when even our own alliance takes power. So what makes him think, Rogan think, that we're going to even vote Dee in, and Dee is my girl. So it's very difficult, that whole situation, but number one, I am always there for Dee. I always try to give her space for her to like kind of figure things out. And when she wants to come to me or wants to talk about something, I'm always there for her. So it was a tough decision because I was making the decision, who was I going to throw down, Josh versus Rogan. And when it came down to it, I had a conversation with Dee that morning, which was really different than the evening when she had to talk with Rogan. And she said, you know, we talked about it. We're all right. We need to stick by our alliances. At that point, it was much more important.
Do you know, now as a fan, you know, I'm watching this, so I kind of see, you know, where everything's going and not what you guys get to see. And now that we know that it was really Rogan who threw Dee in and kind of threw her under the bus and didn't believe her, did you know that at the time? Like, did you trust Rogan with Dee?
I never really fully trusted Rogan. I always trust Dee 1000%, but it's one of those, I could give her my 2 cents. This whole season, I kept telling her, you can never trust a stripper and you got to keep your eye on the prize. And at the same time, you know, if he's taking advantage of her, take advantage of him. You know, this is a game. We all know why we're here. We're not here to fall in love. We're here to get $1 million. So I always took Rogan kind of like word for a grain of salt. But at the same time, who knows, you know, we're in the same alliance. If he's protecting Dee, hopefully he could protect me in the line of the other girls in my team. So I kept close conversation with him, but at the same time, it was protecting my girl, protecting my place in this game. That was my utmost importance.
Well, what do you think now after looking back and kind of knowing it was all his idea? Do you hate him a little bit?
Oh, Rogan is trash now. I mean, it's like, he's a friend, yes, but when it comes to the game, I don't know if I could trust him ever again. Because we know, I mean, he's motivated by money, as we all are, but apparently his morals are a little bit lower on the importance than the rest of us.
I have a feeling it's going to come back to bite him in the ass, but I want to talk to you about the person you actually did vote for, who's Josh. Why did it take so long for Team United States to throw Josh in? I mean, he was the first person to go against the grain and choose someone from his own team when he got Wes eliminated.
Right. I actually applaud Josh for lasting this long in the game, because from day one, he's been stirring that pot and creating this kind of divide within our team, especially when he was the one person that blindsided everyone and voted Wes down there with Bear. So this whole season, I was actually quite impressed, as much as he started the fights and how much he got involved in and how well he survived this whole season. But when it came down to it, we had different options on who we could vote down. It was basically anyone that wasn't in our alliance. It didn't matter whose team you are. So that's why Josh was on the table. Zach was on the table. Jordan was always our number one target. So he was already down there. So it was kind of just now taking a look at who do we want in the final.
Now, you got to give it up to Jordan for killing it against Josh. I mean, I'm assuming you thought Josh was going to come back once you saw what the challenge was, right?
Right. All of us actually thought, it was like, this is the moment where we could get Jordan out of the house. But you know what? I give 1,000 props to Jordan. He even though he may kind of in the house, he's not the most pleasurable to live around, but damn, this proves that brain has so much more power over strength and kind of mass. And the way he read Josh in that elimination was amazing. I give him so much props for that.
Now, listen, I know you have your alliances, right? And I know that you're very loyal. But if it was a proving ground and it was like a couple off between Jordan and Tori and Cara Maria and Pauly, who are you putting your money on?
This is the crazy thing about the challenge. You could always have your chips voted on a specific person, and depending on what elimination is, but you never know. What I've learned, especially with the whole elimination between Jenny and Tori, is that everyone thought Jenny was going to dominate because she's so much bigger, but it comes down to heart, really. And it comes down who's really motivated, who's most focused in the game, and to freaking get down there and gritty. But if it was a battle between Tori, Jordan, and Cara and Pauly, I mean, I want Pauly and Cara to come back, but I want to see, I don't want it to be an easy battle, that's for sure.
I don't think it would be an easy battle. What do you think makes them such strong competitors in this game, specifically Jordan?
They are really strong competitors because they are built for this kind of game. Not only is he physically strong, and what we learn is that he may not look like he's the most yoked dude, but damn, he has endurance and he has great strategy. And he also has the balls to do whatever the heck he wants in the house, and he doesn't really care about people's emotions. So that's kind of the perfect concoction you want in a challenger.
Amen. He definitely has the ego for it. I actually want to go back and talk about the puzzling swim challenge, where you were lucky enough to not compete, which I know you were happy about, but others didn't exactly feel the same way. Let's take a look at that.
But you realize now why we emphasize swimming and why your name did get called at one point, because this is important. And so what you're doing now is you're basically putting each one of these other girls' head in a guillotine, and potentially it's getting sliced off.
Yeah.
Ninja's safe because we don't want a chance swimming with her.
Zach specifically has been on your ass all season long. Do you feel like his points at all are valid, though?
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, it proved since the first challenge, Hooked, where I basically swam in a circle, that I'm right-hand dominant, which that's why I kept swimming in circles, because I just kept overpowering myself. So that's when every single day in the challenge house, I would practice swimming in the pool, doing laps for endurance, doing it for sprinting, and just getting my form right. So up until that point, it was, I felt like I was confident in my abilities since that first swimming challenge, but it was a purge. We knew purges were coming up in this point, and it was just really important. It really wasn't selfish for me because no one else wanted to be partnered with me. So his points were really valid, but at the same time, Team USA, we have been winning up until this point where we could have these decisions and how we could win in the challenges up to the finals.
Have you improved your swimming since this challenge?
I mean, I didn't die drowning yet, so I think it's worked so far. Yeah, even though climbing is my main kind of I got a lot of this, but that's not saying swimming is a whole different dynamic, works of muscles and kind of like athleticism. And that's just something I didn't work on as much coming into the season. But I mean, you're in that challenge house every single day. So whenever I'm bored, instead of eating, I'll go out in the pool and do laps.
Fair enough. Now, I have to ask, both teams clearly have a lot of turmoil going on, but for some reason, when it comes to challenges, Team US can put it to the side. What is going on with Team UK? It's like they can't get a win if you guys gave it to them.
I know. There's been situations where even like CT is throwing the game and we don't know what's going on, but it comes down to the collection of people on Team USA. Everyone's so strong. And especially our veterans, they know how to predict situations in each of these challenges. And the good thing is, I think we read each other, we read the teammates, not just ourselves, but how we work together, how we work individually, and kind of utilizing our strengths to get these challenges. But at this point, it's kind of like just laughable that we just keep winning. So at this point, it's like we make our strategic moves, assuming we're going to win first. And if not, we'll figure it out.
Well, that seems to be how the season's playing out. Now, TJ said there would be a purge, and in the end, Joss and Kaylee didn't make the cut. But I think what was more surprising to viewers was Leroy's reaction to being safe.
Right.
Let's take a look at that.
Joss and Kaylee.
What the?
My emotions just take over. Just tears of like joy, thanking God, because not only did I want it for myself, but I really wanted it for Cam. I did it, and I'm still in the game. This might really be my season to win.
You know what I love about this show is honestly how real it is, and it's a team sport, but really it's about the individual at the end of the day. And what was it like seeing Lee be so emotional in that moment, especially because Cam didn't have to go home?
Yeah, I'm the biggest cheerleader for Lee because I've been watching this guy on TV since I was younger. And, Lee hasn't really had the winning streak as like a lot of people know. Right. And it's been a huge decision for him to come to us in this alliance because, Johnny's wasn't with us day one, but now he's making his own decisions. And I'm the biggest fan of Cam Lee. I'm roommates with them. I see them every morning. They have the most ridiculous progression of relationship up until this point. But I'm so happy I've been friends with Leroy, and he's been practicing on his swimming too. So we actually had no idea. It was so close cut, and people were jumping off the platforms at different times. So we honestly thought that Lee and Cam were going to go home. So that was true emotion for him and all of us.
It was so sweet to see. Now, I have to ask, do you think Joss and Kaylee's purge was their karma for what they did to Georgia? Because Georgia, she got eliminated pretty quick.
Yeah, what we've learned this season with World Awards 2 is that karma is the biggest theme of this game. I mean, it comes down to, it just started off with the whole, Laurel freaking out and actually didn't end up winning. But now karma hits back again with Kaylee voting in Georgia and Georgia going home, and now Kaylee's going home too. So everything comes back to bite you in the butt eventually.